What's up, guys? So today I'm gonna do another how-to for babies, and today I'm doing a how to wrap or swaddle a baby. So this is super easy, and this is another one of those things that people just assume moms can do. No, if you're a first-time mom, you can't do this. You've never done this. You've never had to do this in your life, unless you had, like, if you were babysitting like other relatives' babies, or if you have younger siblings. But if you are here because you've never swaddled a baby, I'm gonna show you 3 ways on how to swaddle a baby, and they are super simple. Pause if you have to, slow it down if you have to, but let's get to it. So all you will need is a swaddle. Now I have rectangular ones. I prefer rectangular ones because for me they just, it's just what I preferred to use. But if you have a square one, it's okay. I would recommend going for something that's 100% cotton. One, it's breathable for your baby. You want the baby to have, to be cozy, to be warm, but also have something that's breathable. Synthetics, research has shown that they're not the ideal because they, retain the heat, but it's almost like a sweaty type of thing. It's not so much about, retaining the baby's body heat. But anyway, 100% cotton is the way to go. Don't go with anything stretchy. Like, I know a lot of people like the stretchy materials. I personally don't, because the whole idea is to keep the baby tucked in. The whole idea of swaddling is to sort of emulate the womb, right? You want the baby to still feel cozy, feel like they're in a bit of a tight space, and to reduce any movement that may wake them up. So the stretchy materials tend to stretch and the baby can wiggle out of them, especially when they reach that 2-3 month age. But anyway, let's get into it. So step 1, let's move my baby aside. So here we have the swaddle, and I'll just do one where I'll actually put the baby up at the top here. So you want to lay it flat. This one, I usually always fold the top when I swaddle, and this is like, what, 3-4 inches over, guys. Not too much. You don't want to bring it all the way down. You also don't want it all the way thin, because that defeats the purpose. This is the area that's gonna go around the baby's neck. I don't like the trimming of the fabric to be around the baby's neck. I just think that's like a strangulation thing. I'm sure it's not that much of a hazard, but better safe than sorry, right? So you bring the baby here, you place the baby in the middle, and what I like to start with, I like to have this arm up, or you can put it over the baby's chest, and you bring this down to the side, you flip it over, and when you flip it over, guys, you want to hold baby, tilt baby a little, and tuck it in. And don't try to be too precious with this. You want the baby to be snug and not be able to easily wiggle out of it. So a big snug is good. And then you put it right under baby's bum, nice and flat. You don't want anything too bumpy. Always remember, when you're wrapping the baby, you don't want the lumps. Now, what I like to do is come back and tighten this area around the neck, because you don't also want excess fabric. And so then from the bottom, you grab the bottom, you bring it up. Now again, you want to tuck the side here. And then this side, you want to tuck it in under baby's bottom, just a little, pull a little, and then bring this arm down. Now we're going to tuck, fold over. Now this is the part that needs both your arms. Hold baby down while you fold over, right? And you bring it down. Let the fabric flow, right? Especially around the neck area, let it flow. Then from the bottom here, bring it over baby's hand. You want it down their side, over the other hand, the other arm, and tuck it under baby's bottom. And there you have it. Nice. It's not strangling the baby. It's nice and firm. But this baby's not going to wiggle out of it. And that is the first simple way on how to wrap your baby. Now, you guys, like I said, rewind. And if you need to do this, pause until you get the hang of it. Now, at the back, notice how there are no lumps at the back here. You want the fabric as flat as possible. You don't want anything like this. You don't want to fold it over and have it lumpy. You want everything as flat as possible. So that's the goal. Now have the baby out and I'll show you. Now this is the second way on how to wrap the baby. So it's the same type of formula where you fold the top, place baby in the middle. And now with this one, I like to have the arms up. I can't really show you with this doll, but sort of fold the baby's arms up. The doll's a bit rigid, guys. But the idea is that you're gonna tuck baby's arms in on the side. Fold this down so that baby's arm is across across their chest here. Tuck this over and under. Remember, if you're gonna go over and under, pull, make it nice and snug, but no lumps. Make it nice and snug, but no lumps, because then baby will just wiggle out of it just out of discomfort. Bring this back up. Then you bring this arm over. This is going to be very difficult because the doll is like super rigid, but you get the idea. And then you bring this one over the arms, which would be laying on the chest, and under. And there you have it. Again, no lumps at the back. And the baby's hands would be under. As we tuck them in, they would have folded over and they'd be right here by the chest. So there you have it, guys. Now I will do the third one. Now the third one is for those mamas out there who have square muslin wraps. Now with the square muslin wrap, what you can actually do is this technique where you create a V. So all I've done is I've folded one of the corners down, kind of like you're doing an envelope, right? So when you fold it down, you bring your baby, you don't want it all the way down because then you've lost, more fabric. You want to bring it kind of like midway, guys. And you bring your baby here. You fold to one side. The same technique. Every time you fold, you got to tuck it in nice and snug. And the same thing, guys. You want to bring this hand down. Now, always keep the baby's arms to their side. You don't want them moving around and then, disturbing themselves with their hands. And then you fold this side over. And now you tuck that over. Then you bring the bottom up here. Really, really all the way up. You can even fold baby's knees if you have to, but they're so tiny that even when you move it up, they'll be fine. You bring this side under, tuck it under. You don't want loose fabric. And you grab this side really tight and tuck baby under. Now, I quite like this, especially when they're really, really tiny, because then it keeps them in that fetal position and they're super, super comfy. So that's how I wrap my babies. Those are the 3 different ways you can wrap your baby, guys. Super simple. You don't need anything fancy, just as long as it's cotton and it's kind of square. Just as long as it's cotton and it's square, you will be good. And you will have a wrapped, happy baby. They sleep better when they're wrapped, guys, because it's just like in the womb. You will get a good night's sleep. And this usually does it. Change the baby, feed the baby. I like to change the baby first. As soon as they wake up, you change them. So that, because usually some babies tend to sleep on the boob or on the bottle, and then you burp them, and after burping, then you wrap them and they sleep. Or sometimes you can even change them, wrap them, feed them as they're wrapped. Whichever way works for you, but I like to do it that way. Change the baby, feed the baby, so that they usually tend to fall asleep while they're feeding. You don't want to then wake them up and disrupt that by changing them again. So this way is good. Wrapping, these are my tips, guys. Thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, if this was really informative for you. And congratulations if you're here and you're a new parent. All the best. And remember, do what works for you. If you figure out another trick, then all thumbs up to you, because at the end of the day, it's what works for you and baby. And, you know, these tips are just a guideline. But thanks again for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys on another video. Ciao. Mwah, mwah, mwah.